All right, morning everyone. So today is Friday and July 12th and 2020. So this is the Longhorn community meeting monthly, and today we are going to talk about the past 1.0 release, which is really big for us, and also the upcoming releases as well. All right, so let's take a look. Oh, the first thing first. So now we have in fact, very comprehensive documentation site, and is at longhorn.io/docs. And you can see that we in fact put a lot of effort to make everything up to date, including an architecture and including the best practice. And all the features, if you cannot figure out directly from the UI, you can find it here. So this should be the first place if you've had any problems, and just look into documentation, and also you can use the search bar to check if there's anything can help you. Of course, still feel free to reach out through the Slack and GitHub to us, and we'll answer your questions. All right. So the second item is, in fact, we're currently planning to move to the CNCF infrastructure, and you can the request has been approved, and we are currently setting up the infrastructure at this moment. And you can see that there are a few things we want to do. I will go through them one by one. And now to give you a more transparent understanding of what this Longhorn team is doing and what infrastructure need we had. So for example, every Longhorn build PRs is going to require a build. So take this PR as an example, and if you're looking down here, and you can say, oh, check has passed, and that's in fact, we have a continuous integration drone PR, and so that's going to run the integration test, at least on the engine side, also the unit test on the manager side. So you can see that those tests on the engine side takes quite a while to run, 23 minutes. So, but this is the requirement for the Longhorn to be any PR on the engine side or manager side to be checked in. So this is the first line of the defense against the bugs and the unexpected issues. And the second line, in fact, is at the Longhorn team, we are running a nightly test. And in fact, there are two tests here. One is called Longhorn test, another one is called Longhorn upgrade test. In upgrade tests, we are upgrading from the latest stable version to the currently the master version in the development, and then start run some doing upgrade process, and as the like our documentation said, and then we continue to run the test. And you can see here, so yeah, so normally we can, it's very hard to get full green here because there is a bunch of like small issues in the test, but you can see that the test has, for the last night, we have like one failure for the test. And I think it's probably, I don't think this is persistent issue, it's just some race condition here. And for this one, it's also, I think we have two test failure here. But we're also working on fix the test. And if you take a look on the Zen, on the new Zen Hub, you will see that there a few more columns we have added on the right. And we have tracking our testing progress after testing, which is the manual testing progress is done. And we are going to move things into the test backlog. And then from here, those are the automation tests. And this is what we need to do. And then implement those and have the review and merge as our new, the backend code or front-end code fix. So this is the current the flow of our test and the forward integration end-to-end test, and that is what we see here on the Jenkins. So there's a bit problem with the current approach of this Jenkins, because this Jenkins is hosted in a Rancher and in the Rancher Labs infrastructure, so we cannot give everyone visibility to like access this website and have the ability to see what's going on and what's failed and get some information. So we are planning to move to the CNCF infrastructure so we can provide more visibility and a transparent process to the development community, and also to the end user community as well, to make them understand that what we're doing. As you can see that the integration end-to-end test, in fact, is pretty comprehensive. It takes about 4 hours right now every day to run. And and also we are going to add more tests. So in fact, the current requirement for the Longhorn engineering team is whenever you have some features or bugs that can be automated tested, the automated end-to-end tests need to be added, need to be implemented. So that's the requirement. We hold our standard we hold our quality to pretty high standard, and by doing that, and also we're trying to crack down all these like race condition failures as well. We are fixing them as well. Okay, so now for this, you can see that in fact for each test suite, there's a lot of tests need to be done. And that is what really guarantees that we're moving toward the better qualities and the better result of the product. All right, so that is for, oh, okay. So in fact, there's another thing we want to move to CNCF to give a user better visibility. That is our dashboard. In fact, as you know that we have an upgrade server which is running, and that's going to notify the users whenever we have upgrade. So in fact, when we think about that, we think that maybe another use for that is say because we are pulling the upgrade in a certain during a certain interval, so we were going to know that how many nodes is currently running Longhorn. So this service has been running for a while, and you can see that currently after 1.0 release, we are at about 7,800 node and worldwide. And one thing to assure that we're not storing the IP address or any user data, and we get the information. Of course, we get some very high level like geographic information using the IP, and then we already drop the IP in the backend. So that's part of code. You can find them at upgrade responder. Yeah, so this is also open source. And you can find them that we didn't store the IP at all, and everything is done that to comply with the GDPR and other privacy laws. So you can see that the growth of Longhorn is very healthy here. Maybe a little bit explanation on what is happening here, I guess, is somebody start a very big cluster and then shut it down. So it got obscured our the growth chart a little bit, and also here and here, 2 parts of this, in fact, is the metric server maintenance window. So that's why you see the drop here. And as you can see right now, the majority of the user is in fact in the US and in China and in fact German. Yeah, it's surprisingly like probably in German right now, but if you take a look at what we happened in the last 60 days, you can see that the growth, in fact, is a little bit accelerating since we released the 1.0 release. And you can also, so the momentum is pretty healthy at the moment. And we're pretty happy to say that. And in the future, of course, we're expecting more growth, and we're expecting like more effort into the marketing and and also as well, and in the product development to make products more more favorable to the users, and then we can at least as working as together as a community, we can get the growth even higher. So all these things is currently unavailable inside the Rancher Labs. So we're planning to move it out, and then we can give the user a better transparency and a better view into how Longhorn development works. All right, so for the 1.0 GA, in fact, the thing itself, not here. Let me see, where's the, yeah. The 1.0 GA is going on pretty well. So you can see that we haven't seen like major issues with the 1.0, and A few things might be like might cause have a couple of issues regarding each. Is one is we have reset the default replica anti-affinity to be hard by default. So that means if you go with the 3 replicas default as the Longhorn shipped, and then you must have at least 3 nodes to get Longhorn running, because each replica has to be scheduled on one node. And if that condition cannot be satisfied, and then the Longhorn volume cannot be created. But if you have after Longhorn volume created and attached it, and then you lost one node, that's fine, and Longhorn will still operation as expected. But just as the beginning, we want to make sure that whenever the volume was created, it meets the user expectation. For example, have 3 replicas, right? If you are not meet that expectation, and you might have surprise, even you are using Kubernetes to create replicas, create Longhorn volume, but didn't expect that, okay, so this volume only has 1 replicas and then becomes single point of failure, and we found out this can be too late. Another thing we saw like 2 users hit is this driver name stuff. So in 1.0, we have removed the previously we have a driver name. In fact, it's called io.rancher.longhorn. So this is the driver name we used before 0.6 release. Sorry, 0.6 and before. So now we are changing the driver name to, since we joined the CNCF, we changed the driver name to the driver.longhorn.io. So for the previous few releases, like including 0.7, 0.8, 8.1, 8.2, those both driver name has been used, and any new volumes will be created with the driver.longhorn.io. But if you are still using the existing volumes from the Longhorn 0.62 or older, and then you need to do this migration steps to get it moved to the new driver name, because in order to support the older driver name, we have added a few additional components in the system to support that. But with the 1.0 release, we figure it's the time to retire those, because of course this additional components takes time and takes resources, right? So after we clean them up, the old volume name, the older driver name will no longer be supported. So you need to do these migration steps to get it working. In fact, we found a bug in old migration steps documentation, and we fixed them. So if you didn't success on the migration before, give it a try again, or let us know and we can help you. Okay, so let's talk about what we are planning for the 1.1 and the 1.10. So currently the release date we're targeting for the Longhorn 1.01 is middle next month. It's like middle July. So 1.01 will be a stable release. The live upgrade will be supported, and we are fixing bugs. We don't have time for the 1.0 GA releases. So it should be fairly straightforward and easy to use. And also easy to upgrade, of course. For the 1.10, we're targeting this September and October, and that indeed includes a bunch of the features. So I think I have talked with you, talk about this sorry. We'll talk about this in the last meetup, and in the meetup, and also in the last monthly meeting as well. And you can see that, in fact, we have tweaked a little bit. The first few items still there. The first one is automatically recovery for the stateful sets. And later, we're still going to address the various maintenance features, but also the next thing we want to do, in fact, is a lot of users asking for retry mining support. Well, based on the nature of Longhorn, it's not really a very easy thing to do, but I think we had figured out a way and to provide enterprise-grade read-write mining support. And we are going to implement and try it in the 1.1 release, since many users still asking for that. It's in fact the most requested features after 1.0 release. Another feature we are going to include in the 1.1 release is also includes like a performance matrix, premises support, alert notification, and the CSI snapshotter. So that is the current plan. So many users ask that they know the Longhorn is separate components, but they don't have like enough insight into how user is using it, what's the performance, and if anything node goes down. In fact, that's very important. If your node goes down, if your volume has some problems, and you would like to know, right? So we'd like to provide that mechanism as soon as possible. So in fact, before we prioritize those features, and we have to delay a few features like remove the revision counting and also as application backup restore, we're going to likely not in the 1.1, but in the 1.2 release. Okay, so that's for the 1.1. Okay. All right, so that's all the update from my side. And if you have any questions to follow up, feel free to let me know. Any questions? Okay. All right. So as usual, you can always reach us through the Slack and the CNCF Longhorn channel and Rancher user Longhorn storage channel and also forum. And our favorite way of communicate will be through the GitHub. So you can create issues for questions, for feature requests, or bug report in the GitHub Longhorn. So that's it here. So thank you everyone for attending this meeting, and we'll see you next month.